In this video, I'm going to be doing something I have not done for I think over a year, and I remember it used to be a lot of fun to do. It kind of interacted you guys very well with the videos. So here we are doing yet another store review video where I break down your guys' Shopify and e-commerce stores. However, there is a slight twist on this one, which would be these are not brand new stores. No, I very strategically picked out a handful of stores that are making a wide variety of sales. Some that are a little more established that I didn't do any due diligence and check the proof, so this is based on your guys' goodwill. Some people telling me they're doing over $500,000 a month in sales. We're going to look at their stores, all the way down to someone who just started their store and it's done about $2,000 in the first week. So some very wide varieties and everything in between. I think there's 4 or 5 that we're going to be looking through. I'm going to go through, show you what it is that I look for on e-commerce stores, what it is I do when I'm setting up my stores. Now, obviously the website that your potential customers land on is extremely important. That's what's going to help sell them on your product, and ultimately that's what's going to make you money. So it's definitely important to set this up the right way, but I do just want to make a very quick disclaimer. Everybody, and I mean everybody, you versus me are going to have a very different opinion in certain situations on how it is you should set up an e-commerce store, what the best way to do that is. So just keep that in mind. This is my perspective. This is based on my 4 years of experience and the way that I run my e-commerce businesses. In my opinion, there's not really a right or a wrong way. As long as it makes sales, keep doing what you're doing. I have no complaints. So without further ado, make sure to smash the like on this video. Drop any comments you have in the comment section down below throughout the video or right now, because I think the next video or the one after that is going to be a Q&A video. So if there's anything you want to see answered on the channel, now's your chance to drop it in the comment section. Make sure to smash the like button. And without further ado, let's jump in. I'm going to screen record and go through this. I've already taken a brief look at some of these just to outline my thoughts, and we're going to dive a lot deeper into this. Let's do it. So we're going to work from the bottom up on this sheet, starting from the newest store that I saw that was something I wanted to break down. And that's the one that's done about $2,500 in sales in the past week or so, allegedly. Again, I haven't confirmed any of these yet, but hometrimmer.com, which just noticing it right off the bat, I thought, hey, maybe this is like a home goods type of store, which by the way is one of the 3 niches I recommended to do in 2020. There's a lot of people at home. That's one of the fastest growing industries right now with all the quarantine stuff going on. So I didn't know for certain what the product was, but that was just kind of my idea. And I do like the domain. Having a good strong .com domain is always more valuable. Okay, so let's take a look here at the website. I'm going to kind of run you through a couple of my thoughts, and we're going to take a deeper look at everything. So when I first landed on this, I noticed a few things. First of all, logo, super simple but good. I like that it's basically just regular text, except you kind of have the barbershop eye in trimmer right there. I think that's kind of cool, pretty creative. 50% off quarantine sale. You're addressing the current things going on right now. So when I saw this, I was like, oh, perfect. This is something to do with hair. And I'm like, okay, well, all the barbershops are closed. I myself actually struggled to get a haircut until like a week ago when I finally found someone who could come to my house and do it. It's kind of difficult. Everything's closed and you want to be cautious and, of course, safe. So, I was like, great. This product, definitely something I see already having potential. Now, the first thing I noticed, though, before I even noticed the logo, was this picture. It's a little bit weirdly sized. You don't get to see their face. It cuts off at their eyebrow. Yeah, it's focused on the hair, but it's a little blurry. I personally think you could do a lot better job just with the photo here. Now, I don't know if you're sending people to your homepage or to a product page directly, but that's just something to consider as the actual, that's the main thing on the homepage of your website. So, stay at home, cut at home, okay? Stuck at home, cut at home. So these are pretty cool. Your favorite barbershop is closed. They got some good things talking about it here. I noticed a lot of different things on this. Again, I'm going to go through a couple of these specifics. One of the most important things is going to be the main photos. So the photos, you're going to see this theme throughout all the stores we're about to break down, making sure you have a very clear picture. This right here is pretty clear. You can read this. It's not too fuzzy. It's a good price point. I don't know what your product cost is on this. I should have asked them that, but that's not really the main focus of this video, okay? So I was looking at the different styles they have here. They have some pretty insane looking styles, saucy silver, which doesn't actually change anything, the golden Buddha or the black Jaguar. So I would just make sure that your photos are correct for each variation of the product. And then, make sure that obviously I see you got a currency converter on there. I selected USD. We can refresh on here, 45 bucks, there you go. So just making sure that everything's good. I want to go to the product page though, okay? So I'm gonna go over here, the home trimmer. Now, one thing I did notice, and I wrote this down over here on my list right here, talking about the header photo, but also the product photo. So it was good on the homepage. I don't know what happened. Oh, I guess it was just my Wi-Fi. Now it's reloaded. It was fuzzy for like a minute or two. So you might want to go and look into the speed of your Shopify store. A lot of people don't really talk about this, but the loading speed of your pages is something you can optimize. We're not really going to get into that, but if your photos or your videos or whatever take a really long time to load, that can deter customers from not only purchasing, but even staying on your website. So you could talk to Shopify support about that. I would recommend watching a couple YouTube videos on how to optimize it first, but that's just one thing to think about, okay? So product page is good. One thing I really liked, and this is something I do recommend that you guys duplicate, implement, whatever your store is, if you can kind of put in a very good visual example of the product, you're almost always going to win better than someone who doesn't, okay? I love how you kind of broke up the text here, okay? There's kind of three main points. Number one, you got a little bit of points. You got some visual aids all throughout this, right? Number two, some more visual examples showing all these different styles, okay? Number three, long-lasting battery. You're not just blabbering on about the product, right? You're talking about some very specific key highlighted points. I like that. I think this is a very good product. In my personal opinion right now, you could sell the living crap out of this. And while you're taking advantage of the quarantine stuff right now, you kind of saw it on your homepage on the header up there. It said, 50% off quarantine sale. As things die down, you'll probably remove that. You might say like free shipping worldwide or whatever, but you can spin this into a very cool men's grooming brand. I had a company like this that I ran for about a year and a half, and it did extremely well. We were doing about $300,000 to $500,000 a month in sales. The margin was super good, and I can only imagine how much better it would have been doing if I was still running it to this day, because of all the quarantine stuff. People being unable to really go get a haircut. I mean, think about it. That's one of those things where people talk about e-commerce taking over retail. There's only so much you can do to replace certain businesses, a barber shop, right? A restaurant, that feel of like going somewhere and getting something done. You can do certain things at home. You can cook at home. You could technically cut your hair, but there's things like that where it's the natural experience of that. It's what that is. So I think, barbershop's definitely going to be around. And if you can capitalize on the online side of that, just like grooming and keeping up at home, like beard trimmers and stuff, all that stuff works great. I've sold a very wide variety of those products. So store number one, I would give it like a 7 out of 10 rating. I think you have a very good product. So you're very strong in that department, which I can kind of tell because, at least from what they told me, $2,500 in sales in your first week. That's great. Even if you lost like $1,000 to do that, to get started with something and get traction that quick, that's a pretty decent volume of sales at let's call it a $50 average order value, So one thing I did notice though, make sure you have upsells. Okay, I noticed just like through adding it to my cart, I didn't really see any upsells on there. Maybe that's my ad blocker or whatever, but just make sure that you do have upsells, and that's gonna go with all these stores. It's kind of a reoccurring theme that you're gonna see. Okay, so the second one, again, from what they told me, not verified, $100,000 a month in sales. Let's go ahead and check it out. So I've actually seen this product before. It's commonly at least marketed towards a glass repair kit for a phone screen. So someone who cracks their phone, you know how like you swipe over it and it like might cut you. It can be sharp depending on how it was cracked. Well, it's a cool product that apparently gets rid of it. Who knows how good it actually is, but gets rid of that, kind of seals it up, helps you not be able to see it as well. Again, they have a great visual aid here on the side, which I love to see, kind of helping just show people a little more about before and after and what it would be. So that is great. Make sure you're never running like a before and after picture on Facebook. They won't like that. You can put it on your website. I wouldn't recommend that being like the main photo because Facebook might see it, but just having that in there somewhere is definitely going to give people an idea of what's going on. So how to use, they break it down very simply, very clean. What does the package include? Boom, it's right there. They got a little bit more information, guaranteed to be the easiest repair kit for fixing broken glass. Cool, it's a simple product. The first thing I noticed though is the price point. Okay, and then what I did based on that, I went to go add it to my cart. Now I saw buy two, get one free. That's a great little incentive to kind of upsell a little bit. That'll probably increase their average order value. But in all reality, who needs two of these products? I don't know how long they're going to last. Maybe I should have read the description. I don't know if it's like a 10 times use thing or whatever. I don't think they said. So people might buy two, but you should try to have another upsell inside of there that would relate to this in some way. Because at a $15 or $16 product, cost on this, like for what you're selling it at, even if some people buy 2 and you get your average order value to like $18, that's still so low. So it's going to make your marketing be like a real pain in the butt. So I would definitely recommend having some sort of add to cart upsell. Try to increase that to, maybe at least in the 20s. If you can get your margin up there through the use of upsells, increasing your average order value, I think you could definitely be seeing an extra like 10 to 20% in your margin, right? You're already paying for the customer. This is a reoccurring theme I've talked about. The video I made like 3 or 4 times back on the channel, talking about doing 500,000 and something in sales in a month, really talked about and stressed the importance of increasing your average order value. It's the easiest way to make more profit on Shopify. You can take your margin from 10% to 25% without really having to spend more money on traffic or focus more on your ads, just by working on increasing that average order value. So good looking store, cool product page. I've seen the product work before. I have a friend who sold it. So if you have a really good ad, again, that kind of, without directly saying before and after, shows the use of the product, it was really captivating. It's something where, dude, if I broke my screen on my phone, I might consider that, because repairing the screen on your phone is going to cost at least $60 to $100. You might have to leave your phone with someone else overnight. And from my experience, I've repaired 2 phone screens. They never worked the same again. One of them that I repaired personally, that I had repaired, it messed up the Wi-Fi. So I had to buy a new phone. The Wi-Fi would never connect right. So I don't know if that was correlated. It just immediately basically stopped working. The second one, the touch was all weird. It was really like, you have to do it harder in some places, lighter in others. So it never really works the same. So I would consider trying this out if I had a cracked screen. And then again, like we talked about, upsells, reoccurring theme, make sure you get some upsells in place to increase that average order value. All right. Now, the next one, again, unverified, $32,000 a month in sales. I really liked this one, and let me explain why. I know I've talked about the niche of like the home goods niche. It's definitely something where people are at home a lot. That industry is exploding. People selling everything from freaking lamps and whatever. I mean, that home goods space is huge. So let's take a look at this. Litlights.co or litlightsco.com. Cool. One thing I really liked that I noticed when I landed on the homepage, the content, super crisp, super clean. This is a prime example. You can see the photo isn't cut off like right about here. It's all the way up. The logo is over it. The cart button is over it. Unlike some of these where I was talking about, like the home trimmer. And by the way, I should have said this at the beginning, I don't know anyone who owns these. These are just submitted to people. This is my honest feedback. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to praise anyone. This is just kind of how I see it. You could change up the theme a little bit so that, this gray space, you could technically have the logo over that. It's not like there's stuff going on in the whole photo. There's a lot of room above this guy's head, so you could change up your theme and, make it a little bit crisper and cleaner like this person has with their store. Okay, so I really liked some of the photos here. In my opinion, a product like this, you're not just selling the product, you're selling a mood, you're selling the emotion, and you're selling the feeling. So like that instant vibe that people get based on your product is gonna kind of sell it. It's gonna make or break that. So just by seeing these, I'm like, oh, this is sick. Under the bed, behind the monitors, behind the bed, it's super cool. Like this little thing here, you hover over it and it's just changing light colors. Again, mentioning quarantine. Cool, you're kind of playing the current time so people, have a little bit more of an idea of what you're trying to do. I like that. You could do get yours here. Let's see what's going on with the product page. One thing, and this kind of irked me a little, again, not a bad way, just my personal opinion. I landed on this product page, and again, you probably aren't sending people to your homepage. They're probably going to the product page. So if this was the first thing I would see, my mood would be completely different. My tone on your product would be so different than if I landed on the homepage. So I recommend not having this be your main default photo. Set something like this, or a picture that we saw on the homepage, like this. Because people be like, wait, what are you selling? A bed, a lamp, shades, like a bed frame? But then they see the lights, and then you explain it. Have this be like a second or third photo that really breaks down the specifics of what's in the package they're going to get and what it looks like. But first, you need to sell based on an emotion. You need to sell that vibe, right? If that makes sense. It's kind of more marketing. They don't even know what they're buying. You're just like selling the idea and the feeling of it first and getting them hooked on it. And then they're like, oh, cool, that's what it is. It doesn't matter that looks ugly on that white background photo. Okay, one thing I did notice as well, the home page is great. I love the layout, but the product page is really weird. kind of seeing how it's the whole thing up top with the photo instead of where it's on the side with all the information. I only say that, I don't know how it looks on mobile, I've only seen it on desktop, but I really don't like for my customers to have to scroll very far. So I like to put as much as I can without, overpacking it, just on like one view, like would be right here on this entire page, without having to scroll down to first of all see the price and change any of the sizes or like learn more about it. So it's cool. You can definitely upsell. The easiest upsell with this would be selling a bigger length. Let's say it costs you an extra 20 cents for every foot and you're upselling each foot for like an extra 80 cents. It'd be something like that where it's pretty easy to upsell people, because if you want to cover your room with it, they just measure every wall. It's pretty easy for a room to be 30 or 40 feet if every wall is 8 to 10 feet. That's like a regular small room. So if someone wants to, cover something, some people just want to light up their desk or their TV, so it might not be as big, but some people buy multiple strips. And I think if you were to upsell people, this is the idea I had, and take it or leave it, but if you got light bulbs, you could put it in lamps, you could put it on the ceiling, like smart light bulbs also, it's a higher ticket upsell. They can control it off their phone. I think you would definitely have some people taking that, which would help boost your average order value. So overall on this one, I do really like the product. I like the store. I love the homepage. Just a couple of things to change around and switch, and I think you could definitely optimize it a lot better. You'd have a higher conversion rate, and I think overall you'd do really well. Okay. So that was that one. Now, thebodybolt.com. Again, unconfirmed, $11,000 a month in sales. Let's take a quick look at this. So I saw this product and I kind of smiled, because this is a really cool product that has a lot of opportunity. Let me tell you why. I know people who have sold it. I have sold it as an upsell myself, not a main product. It was just one of the high ticket options I had as an upsell on a store, an orthopedic store. But a Theragun, is kind of the main name for it. One of these massage guns, it can be, twisted from a marketing perspective in so many different ways. It could be a massage tool. It could be a sports tool for athletes, for training bodybuilders, weightlifting. There's all sorts of different things here that you could do. From their perspective, train hard, recover fast. It's more so for athletes, people working out and doing active sports, which makes sense. But it's a higher ticket product. If you brand it right, you can definitely upsell a lot of different things, and you can mark up the product price a lot. So if you're getting it for $40, you might be able to sell it for $200, and people might not blink an eye. So let's take a look through everything. There's also a lot of cool upsells you can do on this. Let's hit shop now. Okay, the percussion massage device. I noticed the product name and I thought it was a little weird, because on the home page you weren't taking the massage perspective. You were taking the training and recovering perspective. So I would try and make a name, and just off the top of my head on the spot right now, something about like, the body recovery gun, or, and I wouldn't use the word gun, but, body recovery or muscle recovery device, so something like that. I think the word device is a little weird, but come up with a name that might be a little bit more correlated with who you're marketing your product to. Might sound a little bit better. I thought the layout was a little interesting here, but I liked how it was basically one big product description all the way down, selling the product, showing them a bunch of different stuff, all included, a couple of different tips. There's like a bag. They've got it branded. So this is more of a brand, which is really cool. I love to see that. And there's so many different massage tools you could upsell. Low ticket, you could upsell a foam roller. I'll bet they're getting this for $40, $45. So good markup there. There's just so many different things you could upsell. I mean, you could upsell these little things. They look like tennis balls. They have a little bit of like, rounded spikes on them, and you put them behind your back and you roll, right? So it's kind of a massage recovery tool. They cost a couple bucks. You could upsell them for an easy 20. You're making $15 profit with no ad cost on just an upsell. So that's an idea, because I go to add this to my cart and I'd already done it earlier, which is why I know, and there was nothing. I didn't see anything. There was no add to cart upsell. Maybe it's a post-purchase upsell. I can't be too quick to judge, but I go to checkout, I go to see all this, and I don't see anything. So I would definitely recommend nailing down your upsell. Okay. Other than that, product is great. I love it. The website looks great. I love it. It's fine. I would work on just kind of the product name, and that's about it. You could definitely get a lot of cool custom content. I think influencers could be a great route for you, just to really have people like, nail it down as a brand. You're having maybe small athletes use it, influencers, and you could send them the product for free, since it's a higher ticket product, and they might post it just in exchange for the product, which doesn't cost you $139, or there's two of them in here. It costs you what your product cost is. So that could be a great way to do it. Now, the last store inside here, the one doing apparently $500,000 a month, let's take a quick look at it. There was a couple of things that I noticed. If it is actually doing $500,000 a month, bravo. I think it must be because of the marketing. Whatever main product you're advertising must be crushing it. Now, I don't doubt that it's necessarily doing that, because I have a student of mine who's more so a friend now. I worked with him like a year and a half ago, tried to help him out, and he started making almost $1 million a month with, I'm not going to say which one just because I don't want to put it out there for him, but one of these 4 products that you see right here. Okay, so all of these, I know people have sold these to very, very well. You know, personalized name necklace, personalized calendar keychain. Cool, great products. There's a lot of potential with it. Now, I clicked on this one for an example. Let's go to the personalized name necklace. There's a little bit more cost associated with this product just because it is custom. So it's not like a one size fits all. You got to make it. But 20 bucks, I bet the product costs like $4 or $5. It's really not too terrible. Maybe 6, who knows. But they got different colors. I noticed the photos weren't exactly stellar. I don't like to have, like I said, white background photos, or at least as like my main photo. I think that kind of sets a weird mood. It makes it harder for people to visualize the product. So I would put this product on someone. You know, I would try and work with influencers. It wouldn't cost you all that much to reach out to some Instagram influencers, say, hey, we'll send you a couple $100 and a necklace with your name on it if you send us a couple videos and pictures of you wearing it. You don't have to post it, just send us that content and you can use it on your Instagram page, your Facebook page, your ads, and your website. So something like that could definitely benefit you a lot. I thought there was a little bit too much going on here, okay? Just right here in the product description. Hurry, only 5 left. There's 8 minutes and 44 seconds. Which is it? Is there 5 left or is there 8 minutes left? I think that's contradictory. And if you've, I'm not going to get into the book again, like the Paradox of Choice or the 25 Cognitive Biases. We've talked about that, but pushing people with the wrong bias or confusing them with multiple. I always say pick one bias. It's worked better for me. I'm only saying that. If this is working for you, by the way, keep doing it. But I would consider testing a different way just because I've spent so much money testing these variables. And by having the 2 main biases here that are used in e-commerce, scarcity, which is the amount, there's only 5 left, urgency, there's only 8 minutes left, that's time. You're having quantity and time. You want to pick one of those. And because that's what you're going to be saying in your marketing. Hurry, it's a 24-hour sale, or we're giving away 50 of them at 100, at like 60% off or whatever it is. So just try to make it all congruent. I would only put one inside of there, especially since you've kind of decorated your description with some different colors, different emojis. I think there's just too much going on. Now, I do really like the quantity break. I think you could do more of this. You could probably have buy 2, buy 3, buy 4, buy 5. You would be surprised at the amount of people who will take that option, especially if they can input, and you'd have to code this on Shopify or have someone do it, code boxes where for necklace number 1, you put a name, necklace number 2, necklace number 3. Someone might go buy it for their whole family or their whole friend group. So you can definitely get a very high average order value on products like this, even though jewelry is known to be a little bit less expensive and normally low ticket orders. So something like this, great product. There's a lot of great potential, and there's so many things you could upsell. Matching bracelets, earrings, the calendar keychain that people saw on the homepage here. There's so many different things. Okay, so nail down your upsells. I think the homepage, there's a lot going on. I think this is a stock photo back here. I would work on getting some custom content. Like I said, lockdown sale now on. Again, addressing what's going on, which is great. I think using the words lockdown sale now on, I think it's not really proper grammar. I would say lockdown sale going on, or like lockdown sale live now, but now on is a little bit weird. So that's just my opinion. There's a lot of different products in here I think you could sell. Again, I don't know what the main product is, but there's definitely a lot of ways to make money inside of this niche, okay? So nail down the products for some of those, the photos for some of those products. A little bit fuzzy, a little bit clearly not yours. I would, especially if they are making $500,000 a month, when you're making even a tenth of that, you should be investing into custom content. Why? Because there's so many more people doing e-commerce that are selling the same product as you, and they could be using the same photos. Brand yourself, make it unique, make yourself stand out. It's not that expensive, it's not that hard, and I promise you, the amount of money you spend is worth it. It's worth it so much. You can use it across your social medias, you can use it on your website, you can use it in your ads. So I hope you see kind of the reoccurring themes between these stores. These are 6-figure stores, all of them apparently unconfirmed, but 6 and even 7-figure stores that are making sales on a day-to-day basis. So now you've been able to see, I think, what was that, 5 different examples of things that are working. all different setups, different products, completely different, but you can see the similarities, you can see the differences, and based on what I said, from my own opinion, you can see what I would change and what I would work on. There's a lot of similarities between that. I would just, custom content's huge for me, making sure the product page and the home page is easy to navigate, it's good, it's clean looking, and then making sure that if you can, brand it, that's great, but focusing on the upsells. The average order value is huge. If you're not taking advantage of that, especially when you're making sales, I promise you, you're losing out on so much money. It's not worth it. Just spend an hour, literally 30 minutes, and set up your upsells. It'll be one of the best investments you ever made, okay? So I hope this helps. If you guys want me to do a video like this again, let me know in the comment section down below. If you have any questions based on what we talked about, or questions that have been swirling around in your head for a while, make sure to drop it in the comment section down below so that I can answer them for you in the Q&A video that is hopefully going to come up in the next 2 videos, all right? So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope you got a lot of different perspectives, got some good value and tips and tricks that you can then take over to your e-commerce store, whether it's on Shopify or not, and help optimize that so that you can make the most amount of money possible while keeping your customers happy and giving them a good experience. Other than that, just make sure to smash the like button on the way out. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss the Q&A video that's coming up. I'm posting here twice a week, Monday and Friday, typically, if I can. So with that being said, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll be seeing you in the next video. Peace.